not?
Anyway, the election.
Oh, the election
So,
is happening. Okay. What do you think about the election, Micah?
it's a very concerning one. I've never I've posted on Twitter what I think personally, but from like an objective standpoint, it's never been so hostile. Look back at debates in the prior years, even the Obama versus not Mitt
Romney, I
Romney,
think. Yeah.
McCain. You
Oh,
can see
McCain.
they had a similar respect and understanding of each other, and they weren't as demeaning, and they also didn't call upon their supporters to um, to do things that you wouldn't normally see happen, like poll watching and stuff like that.
Sure.
Uh, I think that that's really concerning, and it's also concerning that Donald Trump has built up a personality cult, which is where you see it in most dictatorships. Actually, you look at uh, Kim Jong-un in North Korea. He has got a personality cult where people don't believe he shits. Uh, that's
That's funny.
that's a bit concerning
Um,
that is the
yeah.
parallel. Hitler himself also had a personality cult,
Mussolini.
which is why, yeah, it's a very
It's
dictator
classic fascist
move.
dictatorship in this,
Exactly.
which I
Not
think
just
is really
fascist.
funny because Trump always um, talks about Antifa being a terrorist organization, and like Antifa is just
Right.
anti-fascist,
Anti-fascist.
and he's like,
Yeah.
I don't like them. And we're like, okay, cool, Trump. Micah,
Yeah. Well,
why, as a young person in today's society, you're 18, right?
yeah.
Why as an 18-year-old new voter, why do you find it concerning and like worrying? Like what
Um,
specifically are you afraid of?
I'm specifically afraid of this becoming the norm, where politicians are this cutthroat, where they're almost wanting to kill each other because of their beliefs. That's not what this country was founded on. That's not the message we want to keep sending to each other. That's just not it, you know?
Sure.
Uh, it's it's concerning that this is the message that we want to send to other people running for politics, the younger generation, that in order to win, you have to be very, very uh, demeaning and demonizing to your enemy, which is not true at all. There's you can always have respect for your enemy. Of course, Machiavellian, it's better to be feared than loved, but there's a point where in today's society that just doesn't uphold the normal standards.
Yeah, I
That's
think
just
there's
not the
definitely
norm.
a point in which this practice of Trump's to be so quote unquote transparent as he states it. I think it's more of a like a tactic used by show
Mhm.
hosts and stuff. You know, because he hosted The Apprentice for like 20 years or whatever. I think it's more drama and like TV, Hollywood kind of acting,
Right.
and
Keeping your name in the headlines.
exactly, and it's not necessarily the correct way to go about ruling a country, arguably one of the biggest and most advanced countries in the planet. It's not
Right.
really a good way to inspire such division and hatred and like candidate centered, demonization, as you said. It's
Yeah,
definitely not the way to go.
you look back at Rome, ancient Rome, and it's really similar to today's America, where politics kind of are similar, where you have these divisive groups, these like parties, like the Democrats and the Republicans. Um, we all know how Julius Caesar went out when the party division became so fierce that they were literally killing each other. You might say that happened thousands of years ago. Why would that happen again? Well, look at look at this election. Truly it's truly getting there.
Yeah, no, it's
These are
definitely
the beginnings.
escalating quite quickly. It's a little scary. Myself as an upcoming political activist, I guess,
Hmm.
I want to change this, and I know many people also do, and I believe our generation is the one to do it because we are such a diverse and opinionated generation raised in like I mean, since I was born, it's just kind of been downhill. Since
Right,
2008, everything's been downhill. Um,
right.
and I would like to see this unanimous support in our age group to fix what is happening in our country and move back toward politics that actually help rather than politics that hurt the other side. I think
Right.
we should be managing the country,
Beneficial
not
politics.
dividing the country. You know,
Right.
you often hear about like back in the good old days, like the Federalists would look across the aisle at their counterparts. You know, nobody ever says that anymore. Nobody ever says, I look across the aisle to Chuck Schumer and I think, yes, you have a valid point,
Yeah.
but nobody does that. You say, Chuck Schumer, you dumb old fat idiot, what are you trying to do? You're trying to ruin this country. We hate you. You know,
Right.
like why?
You're the
What's the point
ruin
of
of
that?
this country. That's why you shouldn't have an opinion.
It's inefficient at the very least. You would think
Right.
Republicans would be more logical, quote unquote, thinkers.
Well, and Democrats. You look at
And
Pelosi,
Democrats,
and she does
sure.
the same demonizing tactics
Do you
towards
think she
Mitch
would have always
McConnell and
done that, or
such.
do you think it's only a retaliation?
I think it's just built on each other, and it's created such an atmosphere within the political sphere that it's almost like unavoidable. You
Sure,
have
I definitely think you
it's
have to.
establishing a new standard, which
Yeah.
is really fearsome. A lot of people say like, "Oh, we need a new political party," and I actually don't agree with that because I think that would just add more to the chaos. You look at our political or our third party right now, the Libertarian Party, and a lot of it isn't very. It's a little bit nonsensical, and
Why do you say that?
some
If
of
you
it
know
is a
about it.
little bit well, they want to like legalize opium and stuff like that, and it's they want to return to the truly Wild West,
That's kind
and
of
that's
scary, actually.
yeah, it's not necessarily what we want, what we need. We just need a don't necessarily need a third party. We just need parties that will listen and try to work with each other as opposed to working against each other.
Sure, sure.
Because it's not another mentality that's being spread right now is don't vote for him because of who he is, not don't vote for him because of what he'll do. Um, you need to look at
Right.
a lot of people look at because again it's the personality cult of these politicians, and you got to look at what's behind their personality, what they're trying to push forward, because some of the sides have uh, good points and good things that they want to get through, and it's a lot of times blocked by the other side that doesn't want that to happen because of again the personality cult. You don't want this person doing something. You know what I mean?
Sure,
I kind of
sure.
didn't really explain that very well, but
No, no, I'm following
viewers
you.
can figure it out.
Viewers can figure it out. It's not our job to explain this. It's your job to
Yeah,
interpret.
you just have to understand it. Pretend like you understand.
um,
Put some big words in there.
I often find that political parties are mistaken for like sports teams. You know, like
Oh yeah.
you think of
Yeah.
like baseball or football fans, and they're like, "Oh fuck you up! Don't talk shit about the Raiders," or like whatever, and you're like, "Whoa,
Yeah,
chill,"
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and like that's funny, that's cool, it inspires competition, drives up the money and markets of,
Revenue.
like,
Yeah.
merchandise, stuff like that makes sense. But why are we doing the same thing to the literal stability of the
Yeah.
country? It's
Yeah,
insane.
someone brought it up recently. Nobody had flags in the back of their truck for Obama or Romney.
It's actually quite insane. Like on a
Yeah.
sociological level, the amount of influence Trump has had. I stated this in my
Yeah,
AP government
exactly.
class. I made an argument about this. Is that no matter how you feel about Donald Trump or Joe Biden or Barack Obama
Anyone.
or whoever, it is an indisputable fact that Trump has single-handedly revived the political atmosphere in one, our generation, and two, the entirety of the planet. Like
Yeah,
within
right.
4 years,
He's
he has disrupted the entire political scene, which is what he promised to do. So good on him. And he's turned it into it's essentially just a game. It's going to be war, easily.
it reminds me of for you AP history and history buffs out there, oh man, I'm blanking on his name, but he was the one who developed the German politic before World War One. Remember his name? It's like
German. No.
uh, we can cut this bit. It's fine.
Who are we? Who is this?
uh,
What did he do?
I'm looking it up right now. No, guys, I know this off the top of my head.
So I promise it's there. I just want
Yeah,
to make
I'm
sure.
talking about something. I'm talking about something.
What are you
The
talking
guy who made politic.
The guy who made. Are you talking about Machiavelli?
Version of the term. Nope.
Politique
it's
with like
past
a
that.
QUE is what you're saying.
More of a K, but yeah.
K.
What's his
Okay.
name?
politic. Shoot. I want to figure this out. Pol-
He was
I know
he was like an
exactly.
Austrian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real
Otto
politic,
von
right?
Bismarck.
Yep,
Otto von
Bismarck.
Bismarck.
Yep, there
That's
you go.
his name.
There you go. There you go. There
It
you go.
reminds me of the times of Otto von Bismarck, where your personality defined your political career, and if you were as cutthroat and as really radical, you
Sure,
could get
sure.
farther in the game, and we all know how that went for. So, are those the footsteps we want to follow? Is the question that.
Yeah, it's very strange to see, especially Otto von Bismarck, because he literally completely changed like the infrastructure and institutions of Germany,
Right.
which literally just like just paved the ground for Hitler to walk up to a slightly dysfunctional country later on and be like, "Hey, let me fix it."
Yeah, other yeah, other countries. There was this. He's an Estonian YouTuber that I watch sometimes, and he says constantly he's critiquing the American army system, and he's talking about how we're just like the Nazis. We're just the only difference is that we say we're a democracy,
Yeah,
which is kind of it could be a little bit of a stretch, but
I definitely.
if that's the viewpoint we have
That's such a
from other
difficult.
countries.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a very difficult topic, especially for many many Americans. You know, the majority of us don't want to say our military is bad. You know, like we
Of
have
course,
such
yeah, no,
ingrained ideals to like our soldiers are heroes. But like when you look at America, like what are we doing? Why are we
we have
anywhere in the
we
world
have
right now?
military bases in
Literally everywhere,
thousands of other countries,
every single country.
yet none in our country, which is kind of insane. Why do we have such a grip on the world? What are we afraid of losing, and why are we
Yeah, I would much rather devote all of our resources that are going into military into, I don't know, fixing our potholes, maybe.
potholes?
Or,
Yeah,
allowing Social Security to benefit more people or taking homeless people off the streets. Like, I understand the humanitarian effort of the United States to be the leader of the world and lead us into the new age and stuff, but our
how can we
country's
do
falling
that on a
apart. We
pothole
are
road?
literally the
Yeah,
laughing stock for the entire planet right now because we're just
right.
messing up so badly.
And a lot of people say so. Joe Biden has a infrastructure bill that he wants to put forth, and I think that's a great idea. We definitely need that infrastructure for some of you guys. It's roads, it's power poles, it's everything that makes us able to transport goods, to sell things.
Sure.
It's truly something really important. But the opposition says that it's a socialist bill. It's communism.
How do
Why
you
are we?
feel about that? How do you
Why
feel
is the
about the
government?
Republican, almost
Well,
fear mongering, I might say, accusations toward the Democratic Party to be radical leftist socialists?
it's interesting because like back to the infrastructure. Um, Eisenhower, I think he was a Republican. He seems like a Republican. Uh,
Yeah.
he was president right after World War II happened into the Cold War. He passed one of the greatest infrastructure bills. Everyone has used this infrastructure. It's the International Highways Act of I think 1958. Everyone uses the highway. And it's to be able to mobilize our military in the event of an attack. But it's become such a crutch of American culture. Everyone buys cars. Everyone's driven on these highways. These highways allow us to be interconnected.
Sure.
Interstate trade has become very possible because of this. Uh, that was that can be deemed as a socialist act today. And I think that this might be a stretch, but I think that the International Highways Act of today would be a healthcare bill because that's another crutch that American citizens need. You feel?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about healthcare. Honestly, it's one of my downfalls that I admit openly. Is that
Hmm.
I don't even know how to begin learning about healthcare at this point. It's such a mess.
It's so muddled. Yeah,
Like as an
it's really
18-year-old
complicated.
kid who doesn't have health insurance, I don't even know how to get health insurance. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I need. I don't know what's a scam. I don't know if I sign up right now, if in 2 months it's going to be
Useless.
deregulated and
Or a
changed.
week. Yeah.
Or a week. Like
Yeah.
It's crazy actually how convoluted our basic institutions are for our people.
Right.
Like when you think about a country, people look at socialists as like you're redistributing my hard-earned money, and I respect that. I totally respect that. I would not want to be making millions off of my grand idea and effort and hard work to just go to some homeless dude who can't get off of drugs. You know, I don't support that. I would not want my money going and just being taken from me by the government and going to these poor people who don't know how to get their lives together, right?
Right.
That's absurd. Why would you ever do that? We're America. That's not, we don't take people's money. But we should, as Americans, have a civic, responsibility to help America.